Hey guys, I just wanted to walk through the cumulative position chart and what it means. There's lots of questions behind it and how it operates and works. We've got essentially a growth portfolio and a cash flow portfolio. So we'll walk through these together. We can see that in the growth portfolio, which is the yellow line, we've got a much better growth outcome from the portfolio compared to something like a cash flow. There's a $9 million difference at the end of this year. Second chart is passive income, where we can see obviously the cash flow portfolio is outperforming, where we end up at sort of 400k worth of passive income versus 266k worth of the capital growth. So the presumption for the cumulative position would be, what's this 19 plus, this number in that year, which is incorrect. It's not what it's meant to do. So because we've got passive income, it's treated differently to capital growth, right? Growth is like, what is the end outcome? But passive income, we're actually getting paid year on year. So we need to do an accumulative figure of every year, what's our passive income going to be? And because this graph is pre-tax, we also need to calculate the after-tax income to get a real snapshot of, what's going to be a better position for us over that longer term, because it's not money that we've got, it's money that we need to pay. So in tax. So, what is, looking at this, that my question for the cumulative chart is, okay, yeah, we got better growth with the growth portfolio, but we're consistently higher with the cash flow coming through compared to the growth outcome. So, what is the addition of all of this? Does it work out to be better or worse, given that the growth outcome is so significant? So what the cumulative position does is it doesn't start from this year, because we're starting from zero. And what we're doing from next year is starting with that combination of what's the growth in the portfolio plus the passive income less tax coming in for that year. And so, we can see that the portfolio value is at 2.7, and then the cash flows, or the cumulative position, is at 144. So you can see that even though the numbers at the end here, like this 18 million and then it's close to 19 million, it feels like it's wrong. It feels like, it should be the same or more, but we're actually starting from zero and figuring out, based on the two strategies that you've put together, which is ultimately going to have the better outcome based on all the variables I've just discussed. So what we can see here is essentially for the first 10 years, the strategy is essentially the same. So if we have got a 10-year plan of what we want to do with this next property, you could probably argue that cash flow would be a lot more safer, because you've got that stronger cash flow coming in. It's going to underpin the portfolio. It's probably going to bring some more cash flow back in, help with buffers, all that sort of stuff. The next 10 years, we can start to see a bit of a variation and difference between the two. So the growth's at 7.6, where the cash flow is at 5.6. And then you can really start to see the difference over the 30 years, where we're nearly at 19 million versus, nearly 12 million. So there's a $7 million difference between that growth and cash flow play. So it's just understanding, given all the variables and all the incomes and all the, cumulative stuff or income that's coming in, what is the position that we're going to be over 30 years, given all those numbers put together? And so we can make informed decisions around this. Is like, okay, well, I would rather $7 million more in 30 years. I understand that I'm going to be, negatively geared for probably the next 8 years or so. So I'm happy to cop that on the chin by having a better outcome over that longer term time horizon. Or, we might be looking for a 10 to 15 year retirement strategy. Really don't really care about being $7 million richer when I'm 80 and can't get off the couch anymore. So, and I love 80-year-olds, no offense against them, but you get my gist. So I might go for the cash flow play, because I really want to enjoy that as I go through. I don't want to be in burdensome. I don't want to feel like I have to work to pay for my portfolio, even though I know that there's going to be an opportunity cost of $7 million over that longer term time horizon. So it's not 1 + 1 = 3. It's a combination of all the stuff behind the scenes with the tax and everything else like that. These numbers are, pretty much discontinued, because this is the whole portfolio value, whereas this is just the growth on the existing portfolio plus the passive income today. So even though the numbers seem close, they're not what it seems. Hopefully that describes the cumulative position chart, and let me know if you've got any questions.